The night of Nathan's return from the academy, Sir Ulrich Hayfield threw a huge feast. Families, neighbors, civilians from all walks of life flocked to Dunshire. Musicians struck up lively tunes, and peasants from all over the area swung each other with reckless abandon. Rich Godricshall ale flowed in abundance, and some traders even brought savory wine from Mount Cowle itself. Sweetmeats, hearty cheeses, succulent fruits, and even some sweets Nathan brought from Godricshall, all adorned platters, eagerly devoured by the joyous gentry. Though the Hayfields were short on coin, Sir Ulrich was still a popular figure amongst the locals. News of Nathan's victory over Jason made most of them eager to crack open their long-preserved casks and bottles for the type of festival that comes around only once in a generation. Flickering torches illuminated the partygoers as they laughed, sang, drank, and danced. Friends challenged each other to games of strength, wrestling each other to the ground. Others drank each other under the table, and some surreptitious lovers snuck off to intertwine their bodies under the discreet cover of night. Throughout the party, Nathan politely thanked everyone who came up to him offering congratulations. It was such a frequent occurrence, he often felt overwhelmed. In order to get away from all the attention, he went over to old Billy, who hovered at the corner of the torchlight. "How fare you this evening, old Billy?" The steward tooted on his flute joyously.
"Why, how but well, Nathan. Look you!"
And with that, he threw his arm around Nathan's shoulders, turning him away from the light. He swiveled the youth until they faced a scattering of individuals, watching from the very edges of darkness. Nathan laughed. "What do you expect me to see, old Billy?"
"Spies."
"Spies?"
"Aye."
Old Billy gestured with his flute.
"Clay, Raven, Godrickson, Lightstone, friend and foe alike. They all have agents, and we need to watch them as much as they watch us."
Nathan stifled a chuckle. "And you assume these are them?"
"Aye, lad."
"Do you want my opinion?"
"Of course, young master."
Nathan licked his lips thoughtfully. "I think, if I were a spy, I would dance, I would drink, I know not, flirt with the barmaid. I think those that you watch now are merely socially hesitant." Old Billy stared at Nathan in shock.
"Asura's ashes! You're right. I'm wasting my time here, while the true spies steal our ale and women. Ah! I'll save you!"
Slurring his words, the drunken old man staggered back toward the party. Nathan laughed. He felt that familiar sense return, that sense that this party wasn't for him. It was to celebrate his deeds, yes, but it was celebrating the good it had done for the family that he had borrowed. Nathan sighed and took a swig of water. His father had offered him ale, but the warrior in a 12-year-old's body knew enough of the effects of spirits that he decided to restrain himself that night. After all, if he was to face the retribution surely on its way, he needed to keep his mind sharp. He walked back to the party. Though he had no aptitude for dancing or music, he could not help but feel the hint of a smile creep onto his lips, watching the town of Dunshire alive in the truest way that anyone could be. The celebration may be of a victory, but it was as if the victory became a vessel through which the unquenchable spark of life burned bright. He spotted his sister sitting on a bench, observing the affair, a forgotten goblet dangling from her hand. He walked up to her. "Sister, the party likes you not?" Amelia started. "Nathan, oh, no, 'tis well." Her gaze grew distant. He sat next to her. "You need not explain." She paused and took a sip of her wine from her goblet. The clay boy. How did he die? Nathan looked at her, surprised. He didn't expect her to feel such remorse over a terrible person. I told you earlier. But... And she heaved a huge breath before speaking again. Did you go back to the academy just to kill him? Nathan nodded, understanding her concern. To kill him? No. His life meant little to me. What I wanted was to confront him again and defeat him. Had he lived, his life would trouble me no more than his death does. She looked at him, astounded. You feel no regrets? He shook his head. No. He killed Nate. He caught himself. He killed me. Even if it was unsuccessful, he was willing to shed my blood over such little consequence. I cannot mourn someone who held my life in so little regard. But if he was acting on orders from his family... Nathan shook his head. It matters not. A command from a father, the command of a lord, or even the command of a king, they are all the same. If you are a puppet of some greater force, you relinquish your own will. If ever I relinquish my will to a greater force, I would rather someone killed me than to exist as such an empty tool. Amelia nodded slowly. He couldn't tell if she was convinced by his logic or still further confused. You know they'll come for us, right? The Clays, the Ravens, whatever other allies they have. They already wanted us ground into dust. Now, we have a target on our back. Nathan nodded. Thou art correct. But men like Remus Raven or Byram Clay, there is no way to share a world with them without having a target on our back. We had 3 options: annihilation, servitude, or defiance. Of those 3, I can only stomach the final one. Amelia lay her head on her brother's shoulders. I agree with you, little brother. I only hope we can withstand well enough to make the defiance more than a hollow gesture. We will, my sister. We will. Nathan descended down the stairs into the cold caves underneath the Hayfield house. The family crypt had a long and storied history, but like most things in the family's care, had fallen into disrepair. The stone was poorly maintained and degraded from underground moisture. Cobwebs and dust covered almost every shrine within. Peeking around the catacombs, Nathan's eyes eventually found who he was looking for. Sir Ulrich Hayfield, sitting in front of a modest monument. Father? Sir Ulrich leapt, and then calmed down fairly immediately. He picked up a mug of ale next to him and took a drink. Oh, Nathan, you surprised me. You disappeared from the party. I wanted to make sure you were well. Oh, I am. Yes. We can send the guests home if you like. Nathan's father waved his hand side to side. Oh, no. 'Tis an excellent gathering. I simply wanted to share some of the joy with dear Priscilla. Nathan looked over to the monument. On the stone coffin was carved a picture of his mother. Try as he might, he did not have many memories of her, but her face was still familiar to him. Did she like parties? Aye. She could dance like a forest sprite and sing like a mourning dove, but her foot and her voice were secondary occupations. She loved seeing other people happy. So, more than any celebration, she was incredible at making the parties happen. A hostess of all time. He hoisted his mug to her and wiped his face. Ah, my boy, I must apologize. Lately I have found myself in a maudlin mood. With the estate's taxes, the Ravens' attempt to buy the land, I'm thinking more often about the legacy of the Hayfields. Generations of brave warriors, and for a while I've thought that I would be the last of our noble line. That is, until you bested the Clay boy today. He patted Nathan on the shoulder. I am not old, Nathan. Not in the way anyone might define me as infirm or unwell, but my days of battle, swordplay, glory through displays of arms, alas, those are behind me. And I feel that that's the only thing valued in this world anymore. The only way you can live a life is by demonstrating how able you are to take it away from others. Nathan put his arm atop his father's. Our line is not finished, father. I fear no clays, no ravens. I fear not any lords who will attempt to quench our fire. Let them come. Let them try their worst tricks, their most vile deceptions. We will watch them blow for blow. The honor of our house needs no defending, but we shall raise swords for it nonetheless, and you will live to see the glory days of House Hayfield restored. Sir Ulrich smiled. This warms my heart, son. You have always been a determined lad, but the energy you have shown the last few weeks, astounding. I'm impressed. It's like you were reborn that day. Nathan gritted his teeth. Can father suspect? How could he suspect? Sir Ulrich patted Nathan on the shoulder again. It's like we were all reborn that day. Nathan let out an internal sigh of relief. Now go get some rest. You have earned it. Nathan turned and climbed out of the family catacombs. Once he was out of Ulrich's sight, he paused for a moment and listened toward his father. Priscilla, watch over Amelia and Nathan. They are young. They believe that the world is theirs to shape, to mold. They know not that the heroes of old were just people like they are, and could no more turn the tide of time than they can. But they will learn. Please, help us survive. Nathan nodded in grim determination. You have no idea who I am, father. I will turn the tide, or it will break against my will. Nathan said his goodnights to the few people he encountered before he returned to the family home. He walked up the stairs to his bedroom. His room was just as his body's previous occupant had left it, slightly unruly, but decidedly comfortable. Some books on ancient wars and fables lay neatly stacked against the corner of the room. A small latched window was the only portal to the outdoors. Nathan unlatched the hook and peeked out. From a story up in the air, Nathan watched the party wind down. Most musicians had passed out, their music unceremoniously ceased by their exhaustion. Some revelers still sat by the burning embers of the fire, talking or just enjoying each other's company. In the night light, Nathan could not tell who the remaining people were, but he silently murmured well wishes before closing the window. Alone again, Nathan sat on his bed and closed his eyes. Not to sleep. Instead, he cast his mind far afield. He called upon the spiritual warrior training of his previous life to meditate. Soon, it felt as if his body faded away, the world dissipating around him, and then he was floating in the midst of an endless ocean of stars. Glittering lights, like 1,000 lost souls, drifted before Nathan's vision. He tried to turn his Asura Eye to each of them, hoping to find the one from which he came. But he was unable to discern his origin. Each star glittered like the one before it. He was the stranger, stuck in an endless void of lost souls. Panic swelled in him, and he fell, plummeting as fast as he could, back into the body of Nathan Hayfield. He gasped as he felt himself return to the room. Cold sweat beaded his forehead. Nathan looked at his hands. I have work to do.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.